special thank you to the Cambodia Town Film Festival for making this happen. Happy anniversary for the 10th. Okay, so normally we're going to have a little Q&A with all the filmmakers, but I guess the filmmakers crash. Are they all in Cambodia? Okay, apparently, okay. All right, that's all that matters. All right, so this is great. So the last short that you saw was Happy Ending. So that was from Jonathan Howard and Elodie Young, who was on the screen. And then to my left here, we've got John Perazzi, director of Don't Think I've Forgotten. Everybody loves. I'm so sorry. Hi there. Yes. Hello. Good evening. I'm sorry. Please introduce yourself.
I'm sorry. My name is Meng Ratha. I'm a filmmaker, so I'm as well producer. So you see the film, The Rubber Tappers. I'm directing the first one. And the second one, I am a producer for The Sound of the Night. Yeah, so I'm very pleased to be here with you.
Okay, 2 movies, so 3, 4, so we have 4 of the 5 movies, and the 5th movie, who's missing from that batch? Where'd he go? Right, okay, so let's get started.
Hey, for the record, if you see the sequel out in the front, Don donated that.
Thank you, John.
From the movie City of Ghosts.
Wow. City of Ghosts, if you recall, that was the 20th anniversary edition, honestly, so that was beautiful. Thank you, John. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do, as opposed to talking to the films first, is there anything that the filmmakers want to share about their experience, their inspiration? You know, the first 2 movies, one was about basically a rubber plant, right? And then the second, Sounds of the Night. So what inspired you to create these stories, and what message is the takeaway that you wanted to have the audience?
Thank you so much. First, I would like to thank to my parents who are here. Notในโทรศัพท์การดูในโทรศัพท์อาศัยที่คุณของประธานครัวเนาะ and where yeah so where I've got the actor in the Rubber Tappers, yeah.
Oh, the actual parents.
Yeah. And it was not easy to direct parents, especially my mom. She used to be the chef, so she was not happy when I'm his chef. So, okay, thank you so much to be here, and thank you for the 2 directors for Sound of the Night. We would like to be here very much, but unfortunately, it's not easy to come to the United States, so we don't have visa to be here. So, thank you. Please applause for him for the Yeah, but I started to produce the film first, The Sound of the Night. It was 3 years, 4 years ago, and this film have a very big success around the world. So, especially for the actor, Muni has the prize of the best actor in Top of Film, and the film has as well best film in Cambodia festival as well. And after working with them, I decided to make my own film. So in my film, you will see them. We work with me too as assistant and photographer. Yeah, two very talented guys. But I way inspiring my work as well. Yeah. Thank you so much.
I have a question. Did your family have connection to rubber plantations? Like, where did the idea of using a rubber plantation come from? From your personal story?
The Rubber Tappers is my personal story, exactly. It's very inspiring. I inspire from the people who work in the plantations. Yeah, especially the Clint, the young boy, who is connected to the forest. He lived there in this plantation with his parents. Yeah.
In Sound of the Night, you speak about the message, you talk about basically land, right?
Yeah. In some of the night, you see in fact, there's three brothers and sisters who's trying to live in the city. Phnom Penh city is growing very, very fast, as you know, right? And so we try to find a place in this city and to live on different way. The sister work in MTV karaoke in Phnom Penh.
KTV?
Yeah, KTV.
Do you guys know what KTV is? It's a happy ending, Cambodia style.
Yeah, so this is a story linked with, I link with a happy ending and yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Shaman, so your film, Wing Bee, where did that come from? This is such a deviation from his last film, which was so much about history and music and based and rooted in the political kind of landscape of Cambodia.
Yeah, I just want to say, I hadn't seen any of the other films, and it's interesting to me, they all seem to share similar themes that I think are important as to what's happening in Cambodia today, for how hard it is for people and how the changes are happening so quickly, as you said, and how people are sort of being caught up in that and it's affecting their lives. So that was really interesting to me to see that that's being represented and it's being told in such a good way.
I think to Pratch and to Kaylee's credit, they curated a selection of 6 p.m. block movies that had a very similar theme. Oh, and quite frankly, did you guys hear the music? It was very sinister. I thought so.
As far as my film, it's an amalgam of different ideas that I've it wasn't something that I sat down and just had an idea from beginning to end. It was just a lot of different influences. Mainly, we shot this film a year ago, this past July. The July before that, I was in Cambodia and I started seeing all those birdhouses. I don't know if you've seen them, but they're everywhere. And I was just really shocked by them, like, what is this and what's going on? So that was sort of the beginnings, just to learn more about what that was. And then I read a book called, what's it called? It's by Amit Ghosh, he's an Indian writer. And it's about how the Dutch came to Indonesia and basically stole all the nutmeg. It's a nutmeg curse. And really the point of the book is about how indigenous people had very strong animistic roots, much like Cambodia and their form of Buddhism, and how those indigenous people respected nature and looked at nature in a different way. And so that was sort of kicking around in my head too. And finding that temple outside of Kep many years ago, I always wanted to shoot there because it's so beautiful. So anyways, a lot of different ideas were just sort of bouncing around my head. And I was in Cambodia and I just brought a camera and I made a film. That's kind of how it happened.
It doesn't happen that easily, ever. Well,
but sometimes that's the best way, where you're sort of in the moment and you're just taking different things that are happening in your life and you're weaving them together. And for me, that's a great way to work. As opposed to the documentary, which is very painstaking and you have to go through every history book and every historian and every moment and get it all right, which is great. But to work in this way was more freer and more in the moment, and it was really enjoyable. So, yeah, it's very different.
okay, so I think Happy Ending is very unique because, first of all, it was community funded, which is quite remarkable. Before we talk into that, as far as funding, as far as getting the film made, I mean, John, you...
Well, for Wing B, I had my own camera and lenses, and I was there with Matt Dillon, showing the City of Ghosts about a year and a half ago, so we were traveling around with his film, and when I had time, I would just run off and shoot Wing B. I mean, Wing B was shot in 3 8-hour days. It was basically very easy. The whole temple scene at the end took 5 hours. So it wasn't...
It was beautiful.
So that part of it was actually really easy to do. And also the actor who plays the main actor was in Don't Think I've Forgotten. He's a musician. His name is Tochata, and he had never acted before. But in Don't Think I've Forgotten, he was so expressive, and he has such a great face, and he's so earnest. I had this feeling that he could act, and he far exceeded my expectations. So yeah, it was just sort of being in the moment with the people, and that's how it all came together.
Juan, did you want to speak to your actors in your film and the young boy? And you said that he won an award for Best Actor in Cambodia.
The young boy, Craig, is in the movie he's supposed to be 11 or 12 years old, but in fact he's 18 years old. Yeah, he is. He's playing in the group Lacon Basak and Lacon the Mask. Yeah, yeah. The Lacon Call. Sorry, thank you, Bob. And he's very talented. The scene you see him walking in the trees like Hanuman, it's just improvisation because this place is very difficult to find how he can get to show his emotion. I just asked him, okay, do whatever you feel. I don't need to direct it, but just let it go. And he feels something that connecting with the forest, with the story, and he starts to work like a monkey. And so that you see in the scene later, I changed the sound to show where this place was a big forest before, and no need to show the forest, just remind the sound of the animals in this forest before.
And then the last scene with all of the people standing, all the
Yes.
ghosts, all the dead bodies and the deaths that took place. Are you talking about the trees?
Mm-hmm.
It is symbolic of the
Yeah,
deforestation.
mm-hmm. In fact, I was inspired by an artist, visual art, whose name is Kwai Sam. In the movie, the boy looked at the books and let it fall down the books. And when he take it out, he see a flyer of a man who put share the rubber in his body. It looks like a ghost. Yeah. So it's something linked to, because you know the caoutchouc, the rubber names, Khmer Hakadam Kasu. In fact, the name caoutchouc comes from the minority ethnic in Amazonia. Caoutchouc is mean crying trees. Yeah, crying trees.
Okay, so happy ending. I'm going to give you guys a little backstory to Happy Ending. So Elodie Young, have you guys watched The Cleaning Lady? Okay, everybody watched The Cleaning Lady. This story because The Cleaning Lady, it was the first Southeast Asian representation on a primetime television show. So that was huge. That was a few years ago. And so I was helping to promote for Fox, and so there was an event, and Elodie showed the first two episodes, and huge applause and all that. And so there was a post party, and she comes running in, and I see her, and so I shout something out to her, and in French to get her attention. And then we ended up talking, and she's telling me about this film that she wants to get made, and you know how she's not going to be hugely connected to the community. And I said, well, you know, our Long Beach community is amazing. Our Long Beach community is so strong. We're so tight. Please, I would be happy to make an introduction. And so with a few phone calls with some of the sponsors and donors who are here tonight, Kayleen, Kun, everybody, we were able to put together, yes, a really fun event at the Tang. Is Marcy Tang here tonight? Is she? Hi, Marcy. So they hosted us, not knowing, you know, what it was for, with, and Elodie and Johnny came, and they pitched the project, and everybody got on board. And what we said to them was, Elodie, as a Cambodian representation, is the biggest star, Cambodia, right? And who's been in Hollywood for a really long time. And what struck me when she was speaking is she said, listen, it seems like I've been busy working, but the truth is, it's every couple of years and it's really, really tough. And so she has to make her own projects and find her own ways. So the conversation that was had within the community was, if not Elodie, who? And if not now, when? When are we going to stand up and support so that a story gets made? So I'm so pleased to have been a part of that, to bring happy ending to the community, and the community funded it in addition to Elodie and Johnny. So congratulations on that. So you guys, this is Jonathan Howard, who's a actor in his own right. In case you didn't recognize him, he's the last client in the film with the hot oil pepper. So anyway, Johnny, floor is yours, please.
Thank you for the introduction. Yeah, I'd just like to take this opportunity to say thank you very much to the community that is here today. Thank you for inviting us to this festival, and thank you again to the people that helped fundraise. They invested their money and their time to help us make this film. It's true, you know, Elodie, she's from France and from Paris originally, and she has lots of cousins and Cambodian connections there, but she doesn't here in America. So during the pandemic, we were wondering about, like, if we can create our own stuff, what stories do we want to tell? And Elodie's always wanted to tell stories that are connected to Cambodia. And having lived with her dad and her cousins, you know, like, I'm also connected to Cambodia now. I want to help raise awareness and tell stories there. Not just have representation for representation's sake, but like tell stories. So, you know, originally the idea for Happy Ending, it was going to be an anthology series of looking at the side of society that we don't really look at. So you do have the Asian females that work in these massage parlors, you have the Central American landscape gardeners, you have the Mexican dishwashers, people in society don't really spend any time looking at. And it was during the pandemic, I had my own immigration issues. I was being deported at the time, my deportation papers were served. And I'm a white guy from England, you know, like, so I was like, wow, if this is my experience on this entitled, privileged side, what's it like for the people that really don't have a voice to step up and stand up for themselves? And then around the same time, there was the shootings in Atlanta at the massage parlor. And then it's related to my own experiences of me being to massage parlors and being offered this. And when you start, and I started having conversations with these women, and this is not just in America, this is when I've worked all over Europe and England. The same stories come up, and it's usually a woman that has come there. I'm not talking about sex trafficking per se. The women that I was talking to, they weren't taken away from their will. They gave their passport to this company to come over. They get given a small allowance, and with that allowance, they have to pay for their own accommodation. And they all have the similar background, whether they're from Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, China. They're supporting their family back home. The father is not a figure in the family. And the only way for them to make this money that they can send back to their family is to offer these services. So when we were talking about doing an anthology series where each character would overlap with another character in each story, we realized, oh, actually, no, making a film is expensive and hard work, and there's no chance we're going to be able to tell 5 or 6 of these
Not like
stories.
John Ferrazzi, who makes a film in 5 days.
Yeah, John, come on board the next one, please. Now you're showing off, John. And so then we were like, okay, well, if we're going to make one, what do we want to do? And you're right, Elodie in The Cleaning Lady, this is the first time in her life that she's depicted a Cambodian character. Her whole career has been the exotic one, the mysterious one, Greek when she played Electra, you know, putting on an English accent and being English, you know? And so she gets this opportunity to do that. So with her raised awareness, publicity, fame, it also means that we are in a position where we can try and get funding and get stories told that are connected to Cambodia.
So, Yeah, no, that's tremendous. I think that just Elizzie, what she said, and she said in her video, is that she's so grateful because as an actress, at some point, there's the next step, right? In order to be able to control or contribute to the stories that are told. And so her being able to now bring Cambodia in a way and integrate it into the stories that she wants to tell, it's tremendous. And I'm so proud of her and so proud of Jonathan and your team. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce this beautiful ingenue. This is Jasmine Sim. So this is a really cool story also, because Jasmine never acted before this. And listen, Jonathan can speak to the whole process of finding her, so.
Okay, I want to hug all the microphone and then let Jasmine speak. This is probably the thing that Emily and I were most proud about. Just have two at the same time.
Happy ending.
It's finding Jasmine. You know, when we had the great casting director in Jessica Sherman, and when she sent out the breakdown for this character, compare it to the sleazy customer character, who is, you know, he has 1 page of dialogue, 3 or 4 lines. For the sleazy white guy, she had 1,000 submissions for this little small part. And then to cast the lead, which we need is someone that is American, Cambodian, so they can work in this country, that can speak Cambodian. It was fine trying to find a needle in a haystack, and we really had like less than 30 submissions. And then when we saw Jasmine's tape, we were moved, hopefully like you guys were, by her performance. And then the greatest thing for us was the audition process, is that being able to see Jasmine come in an audition, and I hope you don't mind me sharing this, but when she finished the audition, she was so overwhelmed and happy and emotional that just because she was able to be in the room, and she said, even if it ends now, I am so grateful that I got to audition in front of you guys and do this. And so for us to not discover, because you've always been here, but to give you this opportunity where you get to be the lead, you get to show your talent, is the best. And then the fact that she comes from Long Beach, and now we get to show the film here.
Jasmine, can you share your experience? Can you speak to this? I mean, all this is brand new, right, in terms of the movie-making process and being on set. We had the Rainy Who and Rin and Peter Kong. We were able to go on set and watch the process happen. So it was fun.
Yeah, well, I hope you all enjoyed the film. Thank you for being here today. This festival means a lot to me. You know, I met Angelina Jolie here 7 years ago, so it's like a full circle moment, you know, it's in one of your films. Yeah, as a Cambodian woman. So, you know, the process, Johnny touched on it, but yeah, I was in the room and I was crying because the fact that, you know, it was in front of Johnny and Elodie was someone that I had known in terms of like her work for a very long time, because like Larry was saying, there are rarely any Cambodian actresses that are in actual films in like the States, if that makes sense. So I definitely knew who she was. I was like, Cambodian representation, Cambodian woman. And so just to be there was just the greatest pleasure, and they were so supportive and warm and welcoming to me the entire time, all the way from the audition to being on set and finishing, and even now, still today, you know, they are so supportive of me. And yeah, this role, you know, it was a very intense, emotional role, but I really drew on the experiences of people in my family, you know, not that anyone was specifically in this position, but I had family members that came from Cambodia to work here and are sending money to, you know, our family members back in Cambodia. So, you know, it was a role that was very close to my heart, and I was so happy that I got a chance to take it into my wings and just do the best that I could with it. So,
Yay, Jasmine.
yes.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to open up the floor for any questions that the audience might have to any of our filmmakers. So Jasmine, maybe honey can help us run the mic if you have a question. First of all, again, thank you to the Cambodian community for pulling together and making this film. Stay afterwards, we're going to take a picture of Johnny, okay? So, okay, any questions? Kaylee, so, second row.
Oh, I was going to ask, on over there. Oh, thank you. I was gonna ask, I was like, oh, with the mic. I was gonna ask Momota over there. I don't know if you already answered this, but how did you get so much access to all of this rubber tappers industry and to film in such an environment? And how long did it take for you to do it?
Yeah, in fact, my parents are already in the profession in the factory province, and I used to go to the plantation, and dạy Khmer là thua chia này, thua ông dạy không, xong tôi nói ông dạy không của bạn mình chẳng hay xong dạy Khmer. Ở đây mình là chỉ bỏ vài bạn đấy. Ok,ដោយសារបានខ្ញុំក៏មានចការកស៊ូនៅរបាក់រីអញ្ចឹងខ្ញុំឆ្លប់ទៅអីអញ្ចឹងខ្សែរឿងនេះជារឿងពិតដូចខ្ញុំបាននិយាយមិញហ្នឹងជារឿងពិតទេក្មេងឈ្មោះក្លេកហ្នឹងគាត់រស់នៅក្នុងចការហ្នឹងមែនតើអញ្ចឹងទៅគាត់តាំងពីគាត់តូចដល់អាយុប៉ុណ្ណឹងហ្នឹងគាត់អត់មានស្គាល់អីក្រៅពីចការកស៊ូហ្នឹងទេបាទហើយគាត់គាត់ដើមឈើដែលថាយើងមើលឃើញនៅក្នុងរឿងហ្នឹងមិនតែដែរអញ្ចឹងគាត់ធ្លាប់ទៅដែរលេងនៅដើមឈើហ្នឹងខ្ញុំក៏ធ្លាប់ទៅជាមួយគាត់ដែរតែរឿងហ្នឹងគឺមាននិយាយថារឿងហ្នឹងវាចាប់ដើមទៅពេលដែលខ្ញុំជាប់ក្មេងរបស់ហ្នឹងជួបពុកម្ដាយគាត់របស់ហ្នឹងនៅក្នុងខុសទៅហ្នឹងគឺមកតាមខ្ញុំដូចខ្ញុំគឺមិនតែទេបងបើថាប្រហែលឆ្នាំមកចូលទៅជាចូល10ឆ្នាំជាង
Questions?
Rajni.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I have a question for John, actually. We've been going back and forth with the emails and phone calls, but I haven't asked you about, like, to actually, with the House of the Sparrows, right? To get the sparrow's nest. And I was in Cambodia a few months ago, and I was a few friends, and we passed by a few of those houses. And it's very expensive. It's like $300,000-$400,000 just for those houses to house the sparrows. So how do you go about doing that with the workers, and how do they split the profit?
I have no idea.
And that's why I asked you. I want to know.
No, I mean, getting permission to shoot inside of one wasn't easy. There was one outside of Camp Hot, and they let us shoot on the ground floor. When you see the exterior, he arrives, and then he goes inside, and he's hooking up the amp. That was all on this one. You can go on the ground floor, but you can't go where the actual birds are because we don't want them to be disturbed. So while we were shooting that, I got a phone call from a friend in Camp Hot proper who had a birdhouse right across the street from where I live in the middle of the city. He's like, oh, the owner just showed up, and he said, if you come right now, you can shoot there for 10 minutes. So we ran over there, went in with the camera, and just shot the birds flying around, but we didn't have the actor. So we went back to our hotel and shot him standing in a hotel room with that miner's light on his head, staring at the ceiling. And it's so great when you see it. He looks like he's engaged in what's going on, but he's staring at a ceiling fan. So that was a testament to him. So yeah, it's sort of patched together. Again, I really didn't have things figured out. I had a camera, I had an actor, one light, and let's just see what's happening and make a movie. So, if you know what you're doing, and I'm not saying this just to toot my own
I
horn.
have no idea what I'm doing.
Well, I didn't say that, but if you have a certain level of experience, that can work. And I think a lot of directors that I respect tend to find themselves working more and more like that. For example, Lars von Trier, when Matt did his movie, The House That Jack Built, the first thing he said to Matt Dillon was, we're looking for the mistakes. Forget the script. When the mistakes happen in front of the camera, that's the good stuff. So I'm starting to find myself looking for more mistakes and for figuring things out, if that makes sense.
Thank you. want to add real quick. John, his film is his previous film is called Don't Think I've Forgotten, Cambodia's Lost Rock and Roll. So he was the director of that film, and yes, really. And actually, I'm gonna stand. Okay, like don't stand up. Don't stand up. Actually, we screened that film in 2014, and now it's 2024. It's been 10 years, John. So thank you, thank you.
Thank you, and that's why I came here all the way from New York to show my short film, not because of the short film, but because of you guys in the festival and the community here. Seriously, I was like, I'm not going to get on a plane and fly. And I have to go back tomorrow because I have to work on Monday in Brooklyn. But it's okay, they're paying me to be there. So. But anyway, point being, I came here because I love being here in the festival and everyone involved. So thanks for Oh, and the musicians in the back, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Oh, Thomas, sorry. Yeah, and Sang Thomas here from the Jock Car Band, who is Victoria, Don't Think I've Forgotten You. If you can stand up.
Yes, please.
Yeah. I was very, very happy to find out he was here in Long Beach and he would be able to attend. And the actor in this film is his guitar player from the Jock Car Band, so there's a connection.
Okay, we have one more question here. Couple? Yep.
Hello, so Paul from Chicago again. This is fascinating. My question is, and I'm going to assume here because I don't know everyone's bios, but it seems that we have someone from France, is it, or Paris, or England, and here in LBC. If you both can share briefly, one, your biggest challenge working with Cambodia or the Cambodian American story, or the Cambodian story, versus working with your respective place of origin.
It's a good question. I think it's actually very easy, and it's very easy for me, and that's why I've made 4 films there. If it was hard, I probably wouldn't keep making films there, honestly. But the other thing I want to say is when we made City of Ghosts in 2001, 20 whatever years ago that was, I remember saying to the cinematographer, I was a camera operator, Jim Deneau, like, isn't this great? We're making a feature film in Cambodia, putting money into the economy. There's young people on the crew working. And he looked at me and said, what would be great is when Cambodians are making their own films again. But I have to be honest, I thought like, wow, that's going to be a while because Cambodia in 2001 was still a rough place. So anyway, cut to now, and it's just great to see all these films and it's actually happening. And I think that's what's the most important thing for me to be here and see the films, personally.
So Cambodia has a really, really vibrant cinematic community. So there is the Cambodian International Film Festival. It's going on 13 years. It's got it's 6, 7, 8, 9 days, and it's really, really robust. So as they say in French, on a de quoi être fier, right? So we should really be proud of the work that Cambodians are doing, both Cambodian Americans abroad as well as the Cambodians at home. So, question, yes.
Yeah, hi, so I have whoa, this is hot. So I have a couple comments and then a question. So first I just want to say short film corner for CTFF is always one of my favorites. There's always so many amazing, imaginations and really, really going for it. So this is always one of my favorites, but I have to say this year was really special. I loved the rubber tapper really, I felt like tapped into, pun intended, tapped into that childhood feeling of discovering, being alive, what is the world, what does it feel like to be alive, right? That childhood feeling and seeing what the adults are going through and everything through that child's eyes, and I feel like you captured it so beautifully. And then, with the stream too, I felt like that same thing, seeing this crazy world through the eyes of a child, and it's so easy to understand how messed up this world is once you see it through the eyes of the child. Like, why why do I have to do this? Why do I have to do that? And you did a really amazing job. And then I also wanted to say about happy ending. I think the title was perfect in more than one way, because that happy ending, it was happy for the audience as well, right? For after everything that Jasmine's character went through, right? You're so angry and so bottled up and so tense, and then you got this release, right? Of that chili oil, and it was just so wonderful. I really loved it. And I guess my question now is for John. I really loved your documentary before and everything this, and as Laurie said, this is definitely a departure. I was curious about your choice of music during the scene when we were looking at the bird's nest, right? And you described that moment where you only had 10 minutes and everything, but what was it? Because it felt like a horror movie,
Yeah.
right? So what was that? Because he obviously had this deep connection with birds and with everything. So what was that kind of horror moment?
Yeah, no, I don't, not to get too esoteric, but for me, the film is really about, a human being's relationship to nature, both spiritually at the end, economically, personally. And I think we all have complicated relationships to the natural world. Certainly today, it's a big issue and something people need to think about. And so I don't think his relationship is an easy one, because he's profiting. Now the interesting thing with those birdhouses, I was really curious about, are the birds being harmed in any way? Because so much of how we treat animals, eating them and how that's all done, is actually obviously very harmful. But from what I've discovered, the birds are migratory. They make the nest completely from their saliva, and then once the nests are done, they leave. And they wait and they harvest the nest. So from my understanding, there's very little to no harm done to the birds. But it's still a relationship where he's profiting, and it's an uncertain relationship, in my mind anyway. So the music hopefully reflects that. There's an uncertainty to what's going on. I didn't want everything to be everything's perfect and everything's tied up with a bow. There's still a question mark about how we see the natural world and how we interact with it. So that's the reason we use it.
Okay, guys, we need to wrap up, so I'm just going to let one more question. Yes. Oh, really? Two questions.
Hi, my name is Fana. I'm assistant professor of ethnic studies here at Long Beach. I have a question for John. So, John, I show your film, your documentary in every class. I like it. I'm a big fan of it. No, email back in the card there. But I showed film screening where I really like your film. My question is, when I think about methodology, for your film, my students, they noticed that there was a particular narrative. We hear a lot from OC in the film. So the monarchy's narrative is very, it's very obvious in the film. And my students pick up on that. My question to you is, was there any other narratives that you wanted to shine light on, but the evidence, the sources just wasn't there for you to back that up? Or was your narrative guided on the evidence that you can only find?
I think that's documentary filmmaking, especially that type of straightforward interview, archival. You gather material and the film tells you what it is, because you can't make it be what you want it to be. You can only make it be what it is within the context of what you have, right? So one of the things that I was striving to find was popular rock and roll music here was very rebellious. It was very anti-authority. And I would imagine that must have existed to some degree in Cambodian rock and roll in the 60s and 70s. But I discovered not so much. That even though the music is great, and even though it's very free, and it wasn't like it was anti what was going on with the government so much. It wasn't like, protest music of the 60s and early 70s. So I was looking for that thread to make that connection, but I never found it. And Tana and I have talked about it, and it's a different culture, it's a different thing. So I think that was something I was wondering if that existed, and I never found that.
Yeah. I wonder if you ever did like a sequel to like Sokmai in the 90s, because there's a lot of protest music in the 90s. How that would look like.
Well, one thing I thought when I finished the film was that hopefully other people would come along and pick up the ball and continue to tell the story going forward, and a lot of people have. I mean, In the Life of Music, is a great film, and now there's going to be, and now there's going to be a musical about Russell Racicio's life, and so people keep finding ways to tell the story in their own way, and hopefully discover new things about the story, because, obviously there's way more to tell, so yeah.
Okay, last question.
I don't have a question, I just have a shout out. As an older sister, I love my little sister. And, as an older sister, you don't really look up to your younger sibling like that, but I'm so proud of her. And Jonathan, thank you for always making us feel like family.
Love you, sis. Lots of love at Cambodia Town Film Festival. All right, you guys, so listen, right now they're going to be showing the, yes, Kaylee?
Sorry, we were gonna hand out state awards to the filmmakers who showed up. It's a community here at Cambodia Town Film Festival, and the senators and the vice.
And listen, the filmmakers will be out in the lobby afterwards.
No, hold on.
Wait.
Rob has some stuff for you guys.
Hi everybody, I'm loud. I'm Rob Carlton, I'm a new committee member with Cambodia Town Film Festival. Yeah, so in appreciation of the work that you do, contributing to the Cambodian film community, the cinematic community, and to the cultural fabric of Long Beach and of California in general, we've got some recognitions from our state senator, Lena Gonzalez, and our first ever Cambodian city council or government official, in that fact, a woman named Dr. Suli Saro. We want to present this for your contribution to the community. We really appreciate you. Robert Tapper is here.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Yeah, this one nice as well. Congratulations. Thank you.
This is actually the first year we've ever done this. We just thought it would, because we're starting to see a lot more Cambodian American, Cambodian actors coming into the community and doing great work. And so this year, for the very first time, we just like to give Jasmine a Rising Star Award. And hope that she keeps on acting. And hope that she keeps doing this, because we just have a really good ahead of you.
And I think on Sunday we have like an award show, right? On Sunday we have an award show where we hand out different awards, but I think we're going to give this out here tonight to Alordi for Filmmakers Impact Awards. So, yes.
I'll take it on that.
He's going to take it on her behalf. Here we go. Thank you so much. So please stay for
Okay, so now there's going to be a horror film. So if you guys don't have a date night, you don't have a place to go, sit and stay and watch The Night Curse. Right afterwards, we're going to do something that's really unique. We're going to be having a post-film Q&A from Cambodia live with the filmmakers.
And Mary has a gift. Mary has a gift.
Mary, yes?
Oh.
Oh, thank you. Bye.
Thank you all of you for everything. I have no gift, but we'll be sending tomorrow. And thank you everyone for attending Cambodia Town Film Festival, the 10th year anniversary. Thank you everyone.
Good night,
Stay for the horror movie. It's a great horror film. If you guys don't have a ticket, just stay here.
And
Watch the
the
movie.
filmmakers will
Free movie. Stay here for the movie. Free movie.
If
Stay
you
here
guys
for the
want to meet
movie.
Johnny or John, keep them in the lobby. They'll be there. They'll be happy to chat.